If you're running ads online, you've definitely felt it. That slow, creeping pressure as your costs just keep going up and your returns, well, they seem to shrink. You feel like you're spending more and more just to stay in the exact same place. So what is really going on behind the scenes? Let's get into it.
I mean, you're seeing your cost per click rising, your return on ad spend declining, and you're probably wondering, can I even scale profitably anymore? Look, it's the #1 pain point for advertisers today, and it feels like you're fighting a battle you just can't win.
Now, the easy answer everyone gives is just, oh, it's more competition. And yeah, sure, that's part of it. But it is not the full picture, not even close. The real story is way more complex and frankly, a lot more interesting. It turns out there are forces at play working directly against your bottom line. To really get what's going on, we have to look at this dilemma that pretty much every advertiser is facing. And for that, we are not just gonna guess. We're gonna look at the actual evidence. So, thanks to the massive US versus Google antitrust case, we now have this mountain of internal documents and testimony that peel back the curtain on how the ad auction really works. And this isn't just speculation or some blog post theory. This is evidence that was presented in a federal court case. And this right here shows the core issue. Internal discussions weren't just about finding a fair market value, no. They were about actively finding ways to increase prices, specifically to hit revenue targets. These aren't accidental bumps in cost. They are intentional tunings of the entire system. So here's the crucial point. This isn't just about simple supply and demand. The problem is literally baked into the system itself. Google has built-in levers that are designed specifically to increase what you pay. So, let's pull back that curtain and look at 3 of these levers that were uncovered in the trial. And trust me, they have some pretty interesting names. First up, we've got Project Momiji. Now this is where it gets wild. It basically changes the fundamental promise of a second price auction. You know, where you think you're paying just a penny more than the next person? Well, Momiji secretly inflated that second highest bid, which meant the winner ended up paying significantly more, sometimes up to 15% more. Then there's this thing called squashing. You would think having the best ad with the highest quality score would get you a better price, right? That's what we're all taught. Well, this mechanism actually raised the price against the highest bidder. And their goal, in their own words, was a more broad price increase. So much for rewarding quality. And finally, there's RGSP. This was a 2019 update that basically gave Google a dial to turn up prices. They even called it inflation. And it allowed them to raise prices in these tiny little increments over time, which conditioned all of us advertisers to constantly bid higher just to keep up. And here's the smoking gun. These are redacted internal emails showing executives who are under pressure to hit their quarterly numbers, and they're literally discussing which levers they could pull to get more revenue. These were not user experience updates, these were financial tools, plain and simple. Here's the crucial point. The system is not a level playing field. It's designed to charge you more based on the value it thinks you have. I know it all sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? If the system is designed to extract more and more value from you, how can you possibly get ahead? What if we could use that exact same logic to our own advantage? Well, here's the thing. You don't win by playing their game harder. You win by changing the game itself. The entire solution lies in understanding what information you're sending to Google's algorithm. It is all about changing the economic signal you broadcast about your business. It's that simple. Instead of signaling a high ability to pay, you signal a low one. You change the data you feed it, and you change the outcome. Think of it this way. When you tell Google you just made a $200 sale, you're sending a really high-value signal. You're basically screaming, hey, I can afford to pay a lot more for clicks. But what if you could send a different signal? What if you could send a whisper that tells the algorithm you operate on much, much thinner margins? And this is the core idea behind a strategy called the gradient intent model. It's a completely different structural approach that changes the economics of the auction to be in your favor. Right now, your campaigns are probably reporting the full order value of every sale. That screams to Google that you have a very high willingness to pay. But the gradient intent model, it reports only a fractional value. This tells Google you have a lower, much more precise willingness to pay. And that allows you to start winning conversions at lower clearing prices, places your main campaigns just can't compete profitably. So how on earth do you report a fractional value without getting in trouble with Google's policies? The answer, and this is the key that unlocks this whole strategy,
is to use a different business model, affiliate economics.
This is absolutely the crucial point. To make this model work, you have to operate as an affiliate partner. Why? Because Google's ad policies are very clear. You have to report your true business value. An agency can't just decide to report a lower number for you. That's a policy violation. So let's break down exactly how this works. First, you partner with an affiliate. That affiliate then runs campaigns for you. And here's the magic. They report their commission from a sale as the conversion value, because for an affiliate, that is their actual revenue. Then, based on that much smaller value, they set a new, much lower ROAS target, something like 110%. And now, Google's algorithm goes to work, finding conversions that are profitable inside this new, lower-cost framework. Okay, so the first question everyone asks is, what about cannibalization, right? Will this new lower-cost campaign just steal sales from my existing high-performance campaigns? It's a really fair question, so let's tackle it head-on. Let's just put the question right out there, because it's what every smart advertiser is thinking. Are you just moving sales from one bucket to another? The answer is a clear no, and it all comes down to simple economics. The reason it works without overlap is because the two campaigns are playing in totally different economic zones of the auction. Your main campaigns have high bid ceilings to win those premium, expensive spots. The affiliate campaigns, on the other hand, are constrained by that small commission value, so their bid ceilings are way lower. They win auctions at the lower end of the market at prices where it would actually be unprofitable for your main campaign to even show up. And the data shows this is purely additive. We see this across thousands of stores using this model. In the auto category, for example, we see an average incremental sales lift of 14%. And let me be really clear, this isn't traffic stolen from your main campaigns. This is brand new volume, new customers you were missing out on before. So we've gone through the problem, we've gone through the strategy. Now let's talk about the practical side. How do you actually get this up and running without a massive headache and overhauling your whole operation? Well, the setup for this is designed to be incredibly fast. Because the strategy is based on a totally separate affiliate partnership that just runs in parallel to what you're already doing, you can get the entire process started in about 5 minutes. Seriously, you just install the app, and that's it. RetailerBoost launches the parallel campaigns and handles all of the optimization to find that new, incremental growth for your business. So let's end with this thought. We've seen the evidence that the system has levers, and those levers are designed to make you pay more. If you keep playing that same old game, you're always going to be fighting an uphill battle. So the real question is, isn't it time to adopt a new strategy that uses the system's own rules to your advantage?